India is hosting the G20 under its presidency, and that has brought a bigger spotlight on India and its stance on Russia's action in Ukraine. Obviously, as the stage where India stands is also very big. It is a group of top 20 economies of the world, 19 countries, and the European Union. Overall, these countries account for more than almost 85% of global GDP and 79% of global GDP growth in the past 10 years, which is 2012 to 2020-22. While they share many common concerns and speak in one voice on most issues, they cannot find common ground and common voice on the biggest challenge in front of the world. I'm Anjali Istiwal, and you're welcome to India Today Digital. You're watching 360 Degree. Well, I'm not talking about the climate change or terrorism. I'm talking about the war. A war that has been underway for almost 1 year. In a modern world, this is beyond what anyone imagines. Unfortunately, these countries are not of one opinion about the Ukraine-Russia conflict. After the meeting of foreign ministers of the G20, no joint communique was issued following differences over the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
If we had had a perfect meeting of minds on all issues and captured it fully, then obviously it would have been a collective statement. But there were issues, and I think the issues, I would say, very frankly, concerned the Ukraine conflict, on which there were divergences.
This is the second time in a week that there was no consensus. But the External Affairs Minister insisted that the issues that matter more to the global South, or as he said, 95% of the issues, saw consensus. While India has been steering more towards the balancing act, where it has schooled Russia for its aggression by lecturing it that this is not the era for war, another prominent member of the group, China, has again and again declined to accept any condemnation of the Russian actions in the joint statements. China's support to Russia has been unwavering and unequivocal. In fact, China's support for Russia has led America to voice its concerns about arms supply to Russia. America has warned China against supplying arms, while China has strongly denied any such claims. America has left no platform or opportunity unutilized to send a strong message to Russia and China. In fact, G20 became one such occasion for US to reinforce its message. USA's Secretary of State Antony Blinken spoke briefly to Sergei Lavrov, the Russian foreign minister, to tell him the US would not back down from its support for Ukraine. Neither side described this 10-minute encounter, the first direct meeting between the two men since June 22, as talks. But it seems even in that brief encounter, both sides reaffirmed their stand.
Lastly, I spoke briefly with Russia's Foreign Minister Lavrov on the margins of our G20 meeting today. I urged Russia to reverse its irresponsible decision and return to implementing the New START Treaty, which places verifiable limits on the nuclear arsenals of the United States and the Russian Federation. Mutual compliance is in the interest of both our countries. It's also what people around the world expect from us as nuclear powers.
While it's clearly black or white for America or for China, it's not so for India. India has managed to not just successfully find acceptance for its not choosing any sides policy, but in fact, it has emerged as a strong leader of the global South. This war and India's reaction to it has established India as a strong voice of the global South that includes countries in the regions of Latin America, Africa, Asia, and Oceania. Almost 78 countries. And India's importance and prominence is getting validation from the countries of global North as well. Most of the global North has made it explicitly clear that they are comfortable with India's increased oil imports from Russia and also recognized India as a possible mediator for the Ukraine-Russia conflict, as is clear from the recent statement of Italian Prime Minister on her India visit. Giorgia Meloni, the Italian Prime Minister, said, "We hope India can play a central role in ending hostilities in Ukraine." So while India might be having a tough time getting all the G20 countries to agree on one communique, it has gained significantly in terms of global stature. I guess that's a comfortable enough price to pay for that gain. Do tell us what you think about this video in the comment section, and for more news updates, subscribe to India Today.